Hello and welcome to MartinMaths. We're continuing our preparation for the Maths PPEs. This is Maths GCSE Foundation Paper 1 and continuing from question 14. So the graph below can be used to change between dollars and Danish kroner. So dollars there and Danish kroner there. We're going to change $40 to Danish kroner. So what you do is you find 40 on the x-axis where the dollars are, and we read up there. So I get to that point there, and then we read across to that point there, and 10, 20, 30, 40, 240 Danish kroner. So we've read up and then across. Now, say we're coming back from a holiday, we've got 350 Danish kroner, and convert that to dollars. So we find 350 on the y-axis, which is there, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And this time we read across that way until that line meets this graph here. And then we read down, and we should get to see that that is there. Reading down is 58. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gone one across. May have gone one too high this time. Yeah, sorry, it was there. And then reading down to get 58. Okay. So just using the if I had two hands, I would get that a bit sharper there. Okay, so that would be 58 there. Now, Robert needs 950 Danish kroner to pay for a hotel stay. He has $170. So we've got to convert $170 into kroner. Now we know that $40 is 240 Danish kroner. He's got 170. So what I want to do is get that into what $1 worth. So I divide by 40, divide that by 40, and I get 6. Drop the 0, 6 Danish kroner, and then I multiply that up by 170. So 170 times 6, 0, 2 and the 4, 6 is 1,020 Danish kroner, and that is greater than 950. So yes, he does have enough to go and stay in that hotel. Okay, let's move on to question 15. Algebra, W12 divided by W3. This law we subtract, so it's going to be W to the 12 minus 3, so it's W9. Have a look at my other videos and shorts about index laws. We've been teaching that today in class. Simplifying, do the numbers first. 5 times 2 is 10. Then m to the 4 times m to the 3, you add those. So m to the 4 plus 3, it was 5 times 2, and 4 plus 3, and then p to the 2 plus 1, p cubed. More algebra, expanding. Expanding is the multiplying. So 10x, and then x squared, so 10x minus x squared. And then factorizing, here, this is the division of algebra. Looking for a common factor. There's y on its own, but the 27 and the 6 both have 3. So that will be our answer. And just check by expanding. 3 times 2 is 6y, 3 times 9 is 27. So I keep that y on its own, 3 bracket 2y plus 9. Right, now we have to find a number that is exactly halfway between 7 over 25 and 0.88. I know that 0.88 is 88 hundredths, and I can convert 7 over 25 to be an equivalent fraction over 100 by timesing by 4, which is 28. Then I need to find a number that's between 88 and 28. Well, that's a difference of 60. So I halve that and I just add 30. So 28 plus 30 will be 58. So the answer would be 58 over 100, or 0.58. And that'll be a nice 2 marks there. Right, moving on to question 18. Here's a 3D shape. Marie makes a model of the shape. She uses a length of wire to make each edge of the model. Each edge of the model is 5 centimeters long, and she's got 70 centimeters. What length of wire does she have left after making the model? So not how much she's going to use, but how much she has after. Let's just count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 edges, each of 5 centimeters. So she's going to use 40 centimeters in total. So 70 minus 40 will be a nice 30 centimeters left over. Some more algebra, as it's a non-calculator paper. We've got to simplify 10y minus y. I have 10 of something, I take away 1 of that, and there's an invisible 1 there. It'll be 9y. And then 3p times 4p. Well, do the numbers. It's going to be 12, and then p times p is p squared. Okay, ordering numbers now. Write these decimals in order of size. Start with the smallest. To avoid confusion, make sure they've all got the same number of decimal places, because that's not 504 compared to 5. If you all give them the same number of zeros, then they're all in the hundredths. All in the thousandths. So we can now compare 504 thousandths with 500 thousandths. Okay, so the smallest one will now be 0.405, that one there. Then we'll have 0.45, and I can have that 0 or not, doesn't matter. I'll cross those off as I go. Then 0.5, cross that one off. Then 0.504, and then 0.54. And that one is the largest, because it's got the most tenths and the most hundredths compared to the rest. And we could compare those both as thousandths or in this order here. 0.405, 0.45, 0.5, 0.504, and 0.54. It's just 1 mark, but I've actually done quite a bit of work there. Right, question 21. Write down the mathematical name of this 3D shape. It's definitely a prism, because it's got a edge there that's the same all the way through and extended. So it's definitely a prism. But what kind of a prism is it? Well, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a pentagonal prism. Okay, so just to know what that shape is. How many faces does this shape have? Well, it's got 1 and 2, plus 1, 2 underneath, 3 at the back, 4, and then 5 there. So 2 plus 5 is 7. Because it's a pentagon, that's 5. So it's got 5 long sides and then either side to close it off. Okay, how many vertices does this shape have? Vertices are the corners. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 there. And then you could count all those other ones equal if you counted that's... but on each of that is the same. So that's 1 corner there, and that's 1 corner there, depending on which side you're coming from. So it is 10. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 each side. So 2 times 5 is 10. Right, on the diagram, which is above, but below, draw a chord of the circle. So chord is a line that goes through a circle but not through the center. So from one edge to the other, and that is a chord. Okay, so that should be a nice mark there. Question 23. Here are 6 counters. Each counter has a number on it. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 3. Finn takes a random one of these counters. Select with a tick the word that best describes the likelihood that Finn takes a counter with a number 2 on it. So it's 2 out of 6, or a third. What's most likely? It's definitely not even. It's not a half. It's not certain. It's not impossible, because it is there. It is unlikely. And then select with a tick the word that best describes the likelihood that Finn takes a counter with the number 3 on it. Well, there's 1, 2, 3 out of the 6, so it's half, and half is the same as evens. Select with the tick the word that best describes the likelihood that Finn takes a counter with the number greater than 4. There's only numbers up to 3, so that is impossible. Out of that selection there are no counters that have a 4 on it or more. Okay, some more algebra. Again, I've got lots of videos and shorts on algebra. One thing I like about algebra is that there's not much reading to do. So if you know what to do, then it's easy to comprehend the question. Easier, I should say, than having to read lots of text. So 7g plus 3 equal to 2g minus 5. So the first thing I'm going to do is collect like terms. I'm going to subtract 2g on both sides. I have 5g plus 3 equal to minus 5. So I'm collecting the like terms. Then I'm going to subtract the 3 on both sides. And it's a balance method, so I always do the inverse or opposite operation to both sides. And then I'm going to divide through by 5 to isolate the variable and end up with g equal to minus 8 over 5. It doesn't always have to be a nice positive whole number. Minus 8 over 5 will work there. Right, a mixed fraction question. I have to show that 4 2/3 divided by 1 5/6 is 2 6/11. I show that's a nice question because I've got the answer there. I need to work towards that. So 4 2/3 divided by 1 5/6. First thing I do, make this top heavy. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus that 2 is 14 over 3, divided by 11 over 6. Then I'm going to tip this one over and turn it into a times, 6 over 11. Now, I like to cancel. Some people multiply across, but if you have a look at my multiplying fractions short, you'll see that it's much easier if you keep the numbers smaller and you do that. So we have 28 over 11, rather than have 14 times 6, which would be much bigger. And then 11 goes into 28 twice, with 6/11 left over, and that is exactly what I needed to do. So that's as required. Okay, that's question 25. Right, some averages here. Here's a list of 6 numbers, written in order of size. They've told us the order. No, that's the smallest, 5, y, 7, 10, and 12. The range is 9, so 12 minus x must equal 9, so x has to be 3. So we put a 3 there. Median of 8. Now there's 6 numbers, so the median is there. So y plus z over 2 will equal 8. So y plus z is equal to 16. Now the mode of 10. Now that means 10 must be the most common. So that was the range, that was the median, and the mode is equal to 10. But for 10 to be the most common, it must be 2 or 3, kind of all 3, otherwise the median would have been 10 as well. So z must be 10. And if z is 10, then y is 6, because 10 plus 6 add up to 16. So then I have those 3 answers of x to be 3, y to be 6, and z to be 10. Okay, let's go to this question here on Venn diagrams. Done lots of videos and shorts on that, so do have a look at that if you need some more help. 30 children are asked whether they have a cat, C, that's cats, or a dog, D. Of the 30 children, so I know the total is 30, 5 have both a cat and a dog. So if they're and, that's the intersection. So that goes there. 13 have a dog, but not only a dog. So that could be including those as well. So 13 minus 5 is 8, so that goes there. 11 have only a cat, so that goes there. Now, 13 plus that 11 is 24. 11 plus 5 plus 8 is 24, meaning from that 30, I have 6 that go here to complete the 30 in the set. Okay, one of the children is picked at random. Find the probability that this child has a dog. So I know the total is 30, so I'm doing it out of the total. But that the child has a dog, well, there are 13, as they told us. So 13 out of that 30. Then does not have a dog and does not have a cat. So that'll be where we need to do that subtraction here. It's outside of that union. So the probability that they have no dog or cat is the 6 out of the 30. Okay, it's only giving you 1 mark there, but you do have to understand what's going on here, and that's why those 3 marks there are important. Okay, 28 is a transformation question. On the grid, rotate, so turning triangle A 180 degrees, but it's no longer the origin, it's 1 minus 1, so it's there that we're rotating 180 degrees. Now, because 180 degrees, it doesn't matter whether I'm going clockwise or anti-clockwise, but I like to use counting. 2 across, 2 up, so I'm going to go 2 back, 2 down, and that's where it's going to start. And obviously, to get to that point there, it was 4 across and 2 up, so 2 across and 4 down gets me to that point. Sorry, that's not the point I want. I want to go 2, 4, and then 2 down. There, there. So that would be my shape there. Okay, so I could count to get each of those points, 2 across and 3 up, and I could go 2 across and 3 down to get from there to there. If you take each of those points and you count the same way. Okay, that'll give me 2 marks there. Now translate triangle A by the vector -7, so that's x, and then up 3. So take this point here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then up 3, 1, 2, 3. And then take this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, up there, and then I can draw in the rest of that, and that is triangle C. It does say label it, I didn't, and label B as well. Okay, there we go. And I knew that my orientation for this is correct when it looks like that. Had it been 90 degrees or 270, that kind of point would have been facing somewhere else. But I needed it to have been flipping over and facing that way. Okay, moving to question 29. Right, 9.32 times 10 to the -5 is an ordinary number. So what I need to see is 5 zeros before I get my number. So 0.1234. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, 932. Now work out 3 times 10 to the 5 minus 6 times 10 to the 4 and give your answer in standard form. Well, what we need to do here is you could work these out as actual numbers. So it's 300,000 minus 60,000, and then you get 240,000. Because they're different powers, I've turned them into proper numbers, or sorry, ordinary numbers, and then go and say, right, how many powers? That's 1,000 is 10 cubed, 10 to the 4, 10 to the 5. So it's 2.4 times 10 to the 5. Okay, next one. They're using the similar numbers, the 3 and the 6, but the powers are different. 3 times 10 to the 55 times 6 times 10 to the 65. Because of multiplication, I can do in any order. I can do the 3 times 6 and get 18. 10 to the 55 plus 65. I can use my index laws there. So it's 18 times 10 to the 120, but that is not in standard form. It says the answer must be in standard form. Standard form is 1.8 times 10, and they've added another power here to the 121. Okay, do pause the video at any moment if you need. I'll be recording as we go. I'm 3 questions away. Can answer them 3 questions. Thank you. So on the grid, draw the graph of 5x plus 2y equal to 10 for these values. So you could draw a table method where you have x and y, or you could use the dual intercept method. Because it's written this way, I'm going to see what happens when x is 0. 2y will equal 10, so y will equal 5, so it's going to cross there. And when y is 0, 5x will equal 10, so x will equal 2. So when y is 0, x is 2. And then I can plot the graph like that. And excuse the roughness of my sketch here. If I had two hands to work at, I'd draw a straighter line than that. But that's how it would work. If the graph was in the y equal to mx plus c form, I would have found my intersect from the c, and I could have filled in that table of values. But because it was written in this form, when x is 0, I get that, and when y is 0, I get that. Right, we're nearly at the end of the paper, just 2 more questions to do. So y squared minus 3y minus 18, we've got to factorize this, get 2 brackets, put y into each of them. Factors of 18 are 9 and 2, but they don't have a difference of 3. 18 and 1 don't, but 6 and 3 do. That's negative, so the signs must be different, but that's negative, so the larger one must be negative. So it's y minus 6, y plus 3. We're now going to use that. It says the word hence. So we're going to use that answer to solve that. So y will equal 6, or y will equal minus 3, because you have to make y minus 6 equal to 0, or y plus 3 equal to 0. So y equal to 6 would make that 0. Y equal to minus 3 would make that 0. Right, last question. So well done if you've got this far. Make m the subject of the formula, so it's the same as solving. H equals m over 2 plus 4. I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides, and then we're going to multiply through by 2. 2h minus 8 equals m. So multiply through by 2 on both sides. 2h minus 8 equals m. There we go. That is 80 marks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And good luck with your maths.